Aloha, Sharks Nation! We are back live after our summer hiatus. It's wonderful to be back on campus here at the beautiful HPU Esports Arena powered by DSE Hawaii. We are broadcasting live, as we will every Thursday morning, from Aloha Tower Marketplace on the campus of Hawaii Pacific University. You can listen to us live on 95.1 FM or AM 760, and you can always listen to us streaming on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network website. We're excited to be back. We've got 4 amazing guests in studio this morning. Let me start with introductions for everybody. So first, let me start with HPU's new Assistant Sports Information Director, Marcus Dawal Jr. Marcus, how are you this morning?
Doing great. Excited to be here. Yeah, very, very blessed to be on the island. So excited to work with all the teams here. I think Debbie Snell put together a wonderful athletic department, and getting to meet the coach and some of the athletes so far, I'm just excited to be here.
We're just getting rolling, and yeah, great shout out to our Director of Athletics, Debbie Snell. We are excited at the schedule that we put together for this season, and we'll roll through all the different HPU sports programs and talk with coaches and athletes alike. But this morning, we have HPU women's soccer with us. So we are very excited to talk about the season. We're going to start with a conversation about soccer, and then we'll go back to Marcus and talk a bit about some of the other sports that are getting rolling forward here and getting in gear for the fall season. But let me introduce our soccer players here. So first, we have the head coach of the HPU women's soccer team, Adria Borras. Adria, it's great to have you with us this morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having us. Yeah, all good.
We're glad you're here. So we're going to talk to you and get a sense of how the team's coming together and what the season's looking like. We have 2 student athletes with us this morning. Our first is senior goalie, Sophia Garrido. Sophia, how are you this morning?
Doing good. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
We're glad you're with us, and we're going to come back and ask some questions and learn a little about you here in a moment. Our second student athlete, Jaiden Westrom, a freshman defender. How are you, Jaiden?
I am great.
Wonderful. Well, let me start, with you, Coach. Coming into the season, what are your thoughts? How's the team looking? Or just give us a sense of what the season holds.
Team is working hard, and we have ups and downs. Last year we graduated like 12 seniors, so it was like a big class coming in. I think we had like 14 players, which was kind of half of the team. So that always takes a little bit of a time. So you have games that it's ups and downs. Some games have been better than others. But we've been doing good, and then since conference started, we're right there. We just went to California. We didn't lose in any of the 3 games. It was an undefeated trip, so that was good. And now we're ready for Chaminade tonight.
Chaminade, that'll be a challenge for us. What's the composition of the team this year? Do you have a good mix of international players? Are they from all over the States? A lot of Hawaii-based players?
A lot of over from the United States. I would say this is almost the most spread out team that we've ever had, because we have a lot of from Hawaii, probably more than 1/3 or almost, a third is from Hawaii. And then we got a third maybe from the West Coast, between California, Washington. Okay. And then other places like a couple of players from Texas. So far, no internationals. We're having a hard time yet to get some international women, but hopefully one day we can get one.
Wow. Well, I know we talked quite a bit last year with some of the coaches about how they use the transfer student portal to identify students that are, other schools that might be looking to transfer. And it was one of the amazing things as I did the show last year to talk with the coaches and the teams and to see, the international composition at HPU. It was really striking.
Especially with COVID, it happened that allowed many of, not just international, especially even the American ones, to have an extra year of COVID. So the transfer portal last 2-3 years, it's been very, very important. She actually came because of the transfer portal, because she had that extra year of COVID. So out of the 14 players that we brought, I think 4 were freshmen.
Okay.
The other 10 were transfers from all different classrooms, from sophomores to juniors to seniors to grad students. So
got it. Well, Sophia, so as the senior goalie, you transferred from UC San Diego. What brought you? I mean, what piqued your interest about HPU and the soccer program and the lifestyle out here?
Yeah, so being from California, I obviously love the beach, so I wanted to go somewhere that also had a beach.
And you're from Orange County.
Yeah, Orange County.
A town, Foothill Ranch?
Yes.
Foothill Ranch,
yeah,
okay.
It's in southern Orange County. But yeah, so Honestly, HPU attracted me because they had a master's degree in diplomacy and military studies, which is a very rare program. I think there's only about 6 programs in the country that have anything related to that. So when I saw that, as I was looking for my master's and I saw that, I said, oh my gosh, like they have a soccer team. Let me reach out to the coach. And I emailed Audrey, and yeah, one thing led to another, and here I am, and it's been so awesome. My degree, I'm in love with my degree, and the team has been amazing. This is like the best of both worlds, and I couldn't be happier with how it's been going.
Wow. And Audrey said you got the extra year of eligibility due to COVID, and yeah, that was, in a way, there's a silver lining there for a lot of student athletes that got an extra year or two in some cases.
Yeah, that is definitely the silver lining of COVID. Obviously, that was a hard time for everyone to see in the moment, but coming out on the other side of it and getting this extra year to play is seriously the biggest blessing of my life, because I love soccer and I never want to stop playing. And I'm also really passionate about academics. So the way that this all worked out, like I said, I couldn't be happier, and it's been the best of both worlds.
Nice. Well, we're going to come back to you in a minute and talk about career aspirations. But let's introduce Jaiden formally. So Jaiden, as I said, you're a freshman defender. You're from Eaton High School in Texas. That's outside Dallas, Fort Worth. Tell us a bit about yourself and what brought you to HPU.
So I knew I wanted to come to college, like somewhere around the beach. I was looking at like schools in Florida. And I think like Hawaii, like kind of just like popped my radar, like on TikTok, I think. And I was like, oh, this seems like kind of cool. And then I started doing research with my parents, and then reached out to Audrey, and then ended up making a trip out here. And honestly, I was just like, this is incredible. Like I've never seen anything like this. Because obviously I'm from Texas, it's just like very hot and like humid, and I'm like, ugh. And then like the view from the soccer field, I was like, okay, like I can't complain like running sprints here. Like how am I supposed to complain? So
yeah.
And the beach, obviously.
And nowhere near as humid as Florida or southeast.
The weather here, I'm like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Like
they do say the best weather on the planet, right? And I mean, you look at the forecast and they show the 5-day forecast, and it's 87, 86, 87, 86, and yeah, it's an amazing place to live weather-wise. Does that present challenges though for you guys to stay focused on soccer and academics? I imagine there's a lot of distractions for you here. How do you cope with that?
I think for me, it's like, there's a time when to like lock in. And so I think we're pretty good at like when you get to practice, like you lock in, like you have 2 hours to be here, do what you need to do. And then after you're done, like do your academic stuff, go to the beach, like do whatever you need to do. But when you're in soccer, like that's why you're here. Like,
Yep. Is that a challenge for you, Coach? I imagine keeping some team focus, given the amazing location and diversions that exist here.
The diversity, the age that they have, right? Sometimes, can make things a little not as easy as it would, but yeah, we're lucky all that we're here, and HPU is a great place with great opportunities.
Yeah. So tell me about the team dynamic. Have you guys, bonded yet? Do you have a lot of returning players, new players? How's the team coming together? And are there, activities that you guys have pursued to build team chemistry? But give us a sense of how that's coming together.
Yeah, I think our team chemistry is really good this year. I feel like we did a lot of team bonding in preseason, but not like organized team bonding. It was genuine, like desire to hang out with one another and do fun things like hiking, going to the beach, going to each other's houses. So that was like the summer coming into preseason. We really got to know each other. And since then, our team has bonded throughout the ups and downs of preseason and season, and it's really brought us closer together. So I think our dynamic is spot on, and you can tell, you play better when you like the people you're playing with. And I think that this year, there's not really any kind of like divide within the team. It feels really uniform, and we work well together.
Have you had in other, high school and other teams sort of, chemistry that has disrupted that, and then you don't sense any of that here?
Definitely. I've been on a team where it was every man for himself, and like your competition wasn't the other team, your competition was your teammate. And it made our team dynamic really difficult to be around, difficult to play with, and it wasn't enjoyable. So coming to this team and just genuinely liking the people I'm playing next to and having a common goal to beat the other team, not each other, is really refreshing.
Well, I'm sure that's a testament to the coaching and the way that you keep them focused and minimize drama and distractions, which
you
come
try
up
to minimize
everywhere.
drama, but also you try to make things that hopefully can happen organically instead of forcing it too much or like try to force this. We do things as a team that we require as coaches. Like we went to the Terra fields and we had to pull up weights for the community and all that. That was a nice activity. We do beach cleanups. Like we kind of do things that we kind of organize first, but then we can encourage them to be like, there's one college life. There's one time 20 years old. Like you gotta be smart, but you gotta enjoy your life and just make things happen.
It's about finding that balance. Yeah. Is there a favorite team activity that you guys do unofficially, after practice? Do you head off to a beach or go to a restaurant or?
So we do have this one game we play, and it's called Zoomy Zoomy, and it's really fun, and it's basically a game where you are trying to get other people out, and you're like singing and clapping and saying numbers, and it's really fun. And I think that's probably my favorite thing to do with the team when we're not playing soccer. And we usually do it either like in the locker room before a game or just on away trips if we're all bored. Like it's just a fun game, and it gets their competitive release that we all need.
Very nice. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, I want to talk about career aspirations and how the season's looking. So we'll be back in a moment. You are listening live to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Jeff Rich, and we will be right back.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network's 95.1 FM and AM 760.
And welcome back. We are broadcasting live on the beautiful campus of Hawaii Pacific University here at Aloha Tower Marketplace from the HPU Esports Arena powered by DSE Hawaii. And we're talking women's soccer this morning. And during the break, we talked a little bit more about the trip to the taro farm. Let's talk a little bit about that. Maybe start, Sophia, with telling us, what is a taro farm, what do they produce, and then tell us a bit about the experience you all had.
So our team took a trip to the Lo'i in, I think it was the one in Kaneohe, and basically it's a big piece of land where you grow taro, or the Hawaiian word for it is kalu, and it's basically a plant, and you can it's a really sustainable plant, which is why it's such a big piece of the culture here, because you can replant it over and over without having to be too invasive to the environment around you. And yeah, taro is a I guess it's kind of like a vegetable, and you can make something called poi out of it, and it's really important to Hawaiian culture because it has this piece of heritage. There's a lot of stories and legends about where it came from. So that's what it is. And then do you want to talk about the experience?
Yeah. So I think everyone at first that hadn't done it before was like, wait, like, what are we doing exactly? I wasn't really sure what we were doing. And then we like walk in, and there's these like paths of like muddy like water that looked like they like dropped. And so
like a bog or a marsh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was like, we're not like getting in that, like, are we? And ended up 3 feet like deep in the mud, and I'm like, what am I doing? But it was actually like so interesting, and like it really, like, I'm like looking up and everyone's doing it all together, and I'm like, this is like such an important thing to do here. And I'm like, I mean, I had fun doing it. Like, it was just we picked like the plant, like the weeds and stuff around, and like cleared the space for them, like to regrow and to make sure it's like the plant is growing properly.
Very cool. And it was obviously a wonderful bonding experience that brought you guys together towards a common purpose. Very nice. Well, let's change the topic for a second. I want to talk about career aspirations, and then we'll talk a bit about how the season's looking. Mm-hmm. But let's stay with you, Jaiden. Tell us about your major, what you're thinking about when you graduate. Just give us a sense of what your career goals are.
Yeah, so I picked business marketing as my major. I'm kind of like getting into all the like business sides of things. I'm really interested honestly in like the social media aspect of everything, and like marketing for like companies and stuff like that. But I'm like just now getting into it, so I don't really know a lot about it. But
Well, let's talk after the show, because we're always looking for talented students that want to plug in and help us with social media and all the things the university does to market. But yeah, an interesting and dynamic career pathway for sure, marketing communications. You going to go on to grad school, you think, or enter the job market when you finish your undergrad?
I don't know. I kind of like might start my own company. We'll see.
All right, it's good to have a plan,
for
right?
myself, yeah.
All right, so Sophia, you're already a graduate student, so tell us a bit about your career goals and what you hope to be doing when you're on to your professional life.
So my goal is to be a professor. I hope to eventually get my PhD and then be a serious candidate for like a 4-year university. But to start things out, I'm just going to try and aim to be a professor of a community college, because all you need for that is a master's. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Once I get a few years of experience under my belt at the community college level, that's when I'll start applying for a PhD, hopefully in foreign policy or international relations, and then do my dissertation and hopefully get a job as a 4-year professor.
Very nice. You know, I've always thought that that's an often overlooked career pathway for young people, because most people, when you think about being a teacher, an educator, you kind of think K to 12, right? You think high school teacher. But what an amazing career pathway it is for university professors. It's just a rewarding career. It can be financially more lucrative than a lot of people think, to be a tenured professor at a university, for example. So that's a great career aspiration, and I would encourage a lot of our listeners out there thinking about education and teaching to think college and professor level, not just K to 12, which is rewarding as well. But Audrey, let's go back to the season. Let's talk about what you're feeling, how the team is coming together, and what the season is looking like. Because I'm sure that our listeners are really excited at the promise of a new season and a great team that we've got on the field.
Team feels good. The record in conference, we're there. It's 1 win, 1 loss, 2 ties. So we're just there. And now we just have the 6 remaining games at home.
Okay.
So everything is at home. So it's Chaminade today, and then we play all the so-called teams that are coming here one by one. So we're kind of waiting for everybody to come. Now we already traveled to Hilo, traveled to California, traveled everywhere. We kind of got the traveling out of the way. Now we just need to play the home games. So we're kind of just almost sitting here and waiting for everybody to come one by one.
Is there a special, energy you guys, cultivate when Chaminade is the
There's always Chaminade with Hilo. There's these local competitive, who is the best one in the island, and all these things. And the competition in the 3 universities, it's pretty healthy and pretty good. So yeah, there's always something. And then you have parents from both teams that they come a lot. So you get the attendance is pretty good in these games as well. So yeah, no, it's a good experience, and we're ready.
Nice. How are you guys feeling when you get out there? You're gonna have an amazing game and really take Chaminade down.
Yeah, I think we're ready for the Sham game tonight. Last time we played them, it was a close game. We ended up losing 2-0, but I don't think the scoreline reflected the game. I think that we were really close. They had 2 lucky set pieces. That's kind of how games against Sham usually go. So I think that we can outplay them technically and tactically if we are all focused and confident, which is what we were talking about before this. Just confidence is the key, and I'm feeling good about tonight.
Nice. Tell me, so what's the strength of this team? Is it a defensive-minded team? Is it offensive-minded? But what's the strength of the team and the mentality of the team when you go out there? How do you look at each game? Is it a defensive objective?
You try to make it more of a group effort.
Okay.
Because for the type of personnel that we have, you don't have any those superstars or those people. That it's just a group thing. So defensively, it works as a group. But there's what we tell them offensively, who is going to be the hero today? Because out of many games that we've won, the player that scores is always different. So it's kind of more like a group thing that is like, okay, somebody has to step today. I don't know who, but somebody will. And you don't have to do it every day, just today. So the group kind of tries to step up for each other, hopefully.
As a coach, how does that compare? I'm sure you've had teams where maybe you had a superstar and maybe less team chemistry, but you relied on the strength of maybe a player, and then you've had teams where maybe you didn't have, that standout player, but great team chemistry. It sounds like that is the situation here, where you've got an amazing group of student athletes and wonderful chemistry. So it's a team effort.
Team effort, good chemistry, but at the end of the day, they're young, so the results match a lot how they're happy they feel.
Okay.
So sometimes, even though you can have a worse team chemistry, if that player gets the result, everyone is happy. Which sometimes when everybody's trying to work hard and we cannot get the result together, it seems that we kind of get frustrated with each other a little more because you don't have that finger to blame on just that person. But yeah, the work together, it's kind of what we try to come up with HPU, and also teaching them the life lessons. You're going to work at a job that you got to be a good team player. You got to be able to work with people. You got to be able to talk to people. You got to be able to be on a team because you're going to work. You're going to work with people. Life is about teams.
Life is
about groups,
collaboration and camaraderie and building that. And I think you learn. And sports is a great way to learn that lesson. Unless it is an individual sport, that you don't succeed in life in anything unless you focus on collaboration with other people to accomplish a goal. And that's the wonderful thing about sports, is it teaches that team mentality and that group think that's so important to accomplishing big things. Is there, other than Chaminade, what's the next big highlight and test that you see coming up?
Well, we're excited for the SoCal teams. I think everybody's always for the Southern California teams. There is a new team in conference this year, Westmont. So that's always fun to play a new team that you haven't played before.
Is that a new program, or
no? They moved from NAA to NCAA, because all the others you kind of always play the same team. So it's like a deja vu, constant all the time of playing against each other. So when you get that new team, it's always like a new fun experience. That new neighbor in town that shake things up.
Yeah, I also have a lot of friends who play for Westmont, and I actually almost went to Westmont for my undergrad instead of UCSD. So I'm familiar with the program, the people, the way they play, and they're good. If you look at their record so far, they're 2-0. They've been playing well, and I know that they're a strong team, and I'm really excited to play them because this is my last season, and it's like to play with some girls that I play with even in high school, and to play against them in one of my last games is so exciting for me.
Did you not go there? Are they not on the beach, Westmont?
They are not on the beach. They're close. It's a beautiful town.
But you at UC San Diego and Hawaii Pacific were right on the water.
On the water.
Right.
I mean, I literally live 5 minutes from the beach in both places, so it's so worth it.
It's a way of life for some people, right?
Definitely.
And a good way of life. What are you thinking, Jaiden? What anything scare you about the next few games, upcoming month of activities? What's on your mind?
I'm just excited, honestly. As a freshman, I've just been watching and observing everyone, and just, their attitudes towards everything. I think everyone is very positive and working on being super confident, and so for me it's just taking it all in. I feel just learning everything about college soccer, and Nice. You guys surfers? Anybody? I want to learn so bad.
I first of all, one time was surfing, I got stung by a stingray. And second of all, I have this insane phobia of fish. So, I'll swim in the ocean, but surfing, it just scares me because I feel like I can't, swim away if I see a fish. I have this huge, I don't know. So
fish or dangerous fish?
No, just any fish.
Okay. So we're not going to see you out snorkeling on Coral Reef, on Electric Beach.
No, yeah, and I went to Australia last April, or this April, I guess, the one that just happened, and I wanted to, go scuba diving and snorkeling, but I was too scared, so I didn't do it.
Got it. Well, hey, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back. We'll talk a little bit more soccer, and then we're going to jump into some other HPU sports. But you are listening live to the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Jeff Rich, on Sharks Weekly, and we will be right back.
Back to the DSE Hawaii Esports Arena on the Hawaii Pacific University's Aloha Tower Marketplace campus. It's Sharks Weekly on 95.1 FM and AM 760.
And we are back, broadcasting live from the HPU Esports Arena, powered by DSE Hawaii. We're talking women's soccer. So let me ask, is there a team ritual that you guys pursue before a game? Is there a cheer? Is there pre-game superstitions that some follow or the team follows? But I'm kind of interested to know a little bit about that.
I don't know if we call it a ritual, but it's definitely a tradition. Before the game, we all sit together and braid each other's hair so that we look 10 out of 10 for the game, because look good, feel good. We also, sometimes we'll have a speaker and we'll pass around the phone so everyone can cue a song and pick the next song that we play. And before games, we usually just huddle up, pump each other up. We actually pray before the games just to like calm the nerves, and then we do a big loud Sharks cheer, and it gets everybody fired up for the game.
Very nice. And I am gonna give Jaiden an assignment coming from that comment. So you want to be doing marketing and social media. I'm going to say, can you capture a little bit of that content next time for us on video?
I can make a TikTok for you doing the live.
You send us a TikTok. And all right, all of our listeners out there, be on the lookout on HPU social media channels, because we're gonna push this out there and we're gonna call it out and tag it for you. So, all right, that's your assignment for the next week, is to give us some good TikTok content.
I got you.
All right, well, Coach, any final thoughts here as we head into the Chaminade game?
I encourage everybody to come to the game tonight, especially we play 7 p.m., so it's a good schedule.
And you're playing 7 p.m. at
YPO, the soccer complex. Men play at 4:30 first.
Nice.
So it's an easier game to make it for traffic to into the men's one. Our game might be a little complicated with traffic, but should be nice and cool and good weather, and probably a lot of kids in the community.
Nice. All right, we're calling on Sharks Nation to turn out in force tonight and cheer our team on as we take it to Chaminade, right? All right, awesome, guys. Well, thank you for being with us this morning, and I wish you the best of luck as you head into the game and the rest of the season, and hopefully we'll have you back maybe later in the season, talk about next year and maybe some recaps of how the season went.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. Anytime.
Perfect. All right. Well, let's turn our attention to HPU's new sports information director. Marcus Dawal Jr. Marcus, how are you? We left you sitting there as we talked about soccer all morning.
No, it was good to listen. I'm excited for tonight. I mean, any rivalry game, I want to kick their butt, and so it's kind of hard being like the SID, because like you don't really have a role in like the impact on the field. It's more so the the pregame and postgame, but. I'm juiced, especially for this 6-game homestand we have that closes the season. I was an athlete at APU, and so I know what it's like to come to Hawaii. Like sometimes like you're in kind of in vacation mode, like, and you get surprised. And back in 2021, we were a great cross country team. We came to North Shore, got caught lacking, and we got third. And so I'm excited to see all these teams, from SoCal. They come in, in vacation mode, but I think we can steal a couple wins, surprise some people. And so, I think our record right now is going to change like drastically in these next coming games. And I'm excited. Bring whoever, bring Westrom, bring APU, bring Concordia. The conference is going to run through us, so excited for that.
Nice. Well, let's take a step back. So since you're new to HBU, and our listeners, and I'm sure listeners will be hearing a lot from you as we go through the course of the season with our shows, but tell us a little bit more about your journey to HBU, and just fill in a little bit on where you're from and what you're studying and your professional focus, but give listeners a little sense of your background.
Yeah, so me and Hawaii, we go way back. When I was 6 years old, I always go to my friend Jackson Batista's house, and we played NCAA football 07, and his parents big Hawaii football fans, and so I just remember growing up seeing quarterbacks like Timmy Chang and Cole Brennan, and just in awe of their offense. This guy throws 50 plus touchdowns a year, and so and then I go to college at Azusa Pacific. My roommate and one of my best friends, Riley Cabalsi, he's from the island of Hilo, and so I just learned a lot about Hawaii and what it means to be from there. And I was just had a lot of respect for it and respect for the people there. And I had the privilege and blessings to run track and cross country there, and we were part of some amazing teams. We got won conference 3 times for track, and just had an amazing time there. And when I graduated in 2022 with my bachelor's in journalism, I went to Concordia Irvine to get my master's in athletic administration and coaching.
Okay.
Something that I never thought I'd get, but really excited to be a part of that athletic department. And under the guidance of Ben Rosehart, I feel like if anyone wants to get into this field, I feel like they should talk to Ben Rosehart. People working at Chico State, Stanford, Dominican. There's so many SIDs or people in the athletic department in this conference that worked for him. It's insane. So I always say he's like the Alabama of sports information, like just pumping out like
or the Godfather of
yeah,
sports
no, the Godfather even, yeah. So a lot of the stuff that I learned, a lot of stuff that like the opportunities, especially this opportunity, I wouldn't have like been here if it weren't for him. I didn't even apply for this job technically. What happened was, this position came open and an email was sent, and he just CC'd me into it, and I was like, oh, and that's how I applied for it. And so I owe a lot to him. I'm just incredibly thankful to have him in my life. And so after and going back to Concordia, got to be a part of an amazing department. And through that, I made some connections. Got to go back to my hometown, Brentwood, California, and work for the Oakland Athletics in their radio department. And so go check out A's Cast Live. There's some amazing people. Chris, you got Cody and Ray and Jessica. I mean, they taught me so much, and it was just such a blessing to be part of a team that raised me.
Yeah.
And so. Just being there, there's stuff that's out of our control with the team moving, but I just had such a wonderful time being there. And then when this opportunity for Hawaii came up, I'm 23. I lived in California my whole life, and just this opportunity to just start over and push myself not only in professionally but academically, and also just personally, in my personal life, is something that. I feel like I just couldn't pass up,
Yeah. Well, we're certainly glad that you're here at HPU, and I think you joined us about a month and a half ago now. Has it been?
It's start of my third week here.
Third week, wow,
yeah.
Shorter than I thought, boy.
Yeah.
But I know, in your few weeks with us, you've been able to make the rounds through the athletic department, talk to some of the coaches for the fall sports, and we'll get to that in a moment. But maybe fill us in a little bit on some of the changes in HPU athletics and how the athletics department is coming together to help fulfill the mission of the university and help cultivate a great atmosphere for our student athletes.
Yeah, so I'm one of the three new hires in the athletic department. We got me and strategic communications. We got Eli and compliance, and then we have Tui in facilities. Big shout out to Eli. I mean, in my personal life, he's been just like with the big brother I never had, and so he's been helping me, get adjusted to this island. Gave me a place to stay while I got on my feet here. But Eli, man, like he's got a heart of gold, and he's got a will of iron, and so I definitely could see him in the next 10 years being an AD at some university, because man works his butt off. And then Tui, so much respect for her. It's cool having someone in your athletic department that's from here, because there's a lot of I'm new here, and there's a lot of stuff culturally wise and a lot of stuff just that I just don't know, and I want to make sure. When I work here, because you're not only representing HPU, you're also representing Hawaii, and so I want to make sure that when the stuff I post, the people I interact with, I interact in a way that like honors and respects the place I'm working at. And so it's been a blessing to have her, and she's been super helpful too with me being here. And so
there's a sense of culture, obviously, here in Hawaii that's a little different. Even the universities, mission, vision, values, aloha, pono, kuleana, all have significant meaning here to people at the university and across all of Hawaii. Those are values that people really need to take to heart here. So when you think about other major sort of new things in athletics, anything else come to mind for people to be on the lookout this year? Games. Just give us a sense of anything you want folks to be looking for as we head into other sports through the season.
Yeah, no, I'm so thankful for Debbie for giving me the keys to the car that is the sports information department. There's a lot of things that we're working on bringing and implementing into athletics, and also with marketing. And so big shout out to you, because I'm excited to work alongside marketing. I think we can do a lot of big things for this university. We're going to I saw the university brought back their TikTok page, and we're planning on implementing HP Athletics TikTok to go alongside that, and then also getting the Twitter up and running. And
X, you mean?
Oh yeah, X. Shoot, yeah. I always want to call it Twitter.
I don't think we're going to be calling it anything.
Yeah,
because my sense is Elon Musk is trying to torpedo that company.
Yeah. So Well, we'll have fun with it while we still can. But
Well, you mentioned TikTok and the collaboration between athletics and the marketing communications department that I'm in here at HPU. And I think that's an interesting call out. Something new for us is this is the first year that we created a student TikTok team that goes out and creates authentic, original content with obviously marketing's oversight, but they're out creating content that's really meant for folks that are on that platform and developed by folks that are on that platform, as opposed to a marketing department in a company or a university developing that content. So there you go, Jaiden. There's your door in. I'm going to give you the contact person if you want to join the HPU marketing TikTok team. We're going to take one more quick break, and then I want to come back to Marcus, and he's going to give us a sense of his conversations with the other coaches and what to look forward to in some of the other sports that are coming up. But we will be right back. You're listening live to the Hawaii Sports Radio Network and Sharks Weekly. I'm your host, Jeff Rich, and we will be right back.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
And we are back. We are here live broadcasting from the campus of Hawaii Pacific University at Aloha Tower Marketplace at the DSE esports arena here. So we are going to wrap up our morning initial broadcast of the season with a little insight from our new SID, Marcus Dawal Jr. And Marcus, you had the opportunity the last couple weeks to go out and speak with coaches for some of our fall sports and learn a little bit about their expectations for the season, their challenges, how the teams are looking. So can you give us a little taste of the conversation? Maybe we could start with volleyball.
Yeah, so volleyball, I mean, my first experience with HPU was actually working their volleyball tournament at the beginning of the season before I was even hired. And so it was really cool just to...
As hardcourt or sand? Or
hardcourt,
okay.
Hardcourt. So I was here, I believe it was like the last week of September. And so it was cool just, I think that was one of the reasons why I even fell in love with working here. And so it was really cool being around the team. I feel like... we got off to a little bit of a rocky start, but they ended their trip in California on a 2-game win streak, and so I feel like they're that's a really good confidence boost heading back to the island. And they have a big test today against nationally ranked Chaminade, but I'm excited to see how they close out the season, and they got momentum, and momentum is everything, and so very excited for them.
Yeah, and there's just an incredible volleyball culture here out in Hawaii. Here on the island of Oahu, I know there are pickup games every Wednesday over at Ala Moana Beach by the tennis courts. I know a couple hundred people show up there to play pickup volleyball, and then I think Mondays there's beach volleyball over at Ala Moana. So it's definitely a part of life here, and it's good that HPU has got a strong focus on volleyball. So some other sports that you went out, you talked with. We've got women's soccer here. You talked with the men's soccer team too.
So very exciting last week to sweep Hilo. I mean, I love beating everyone in the Pac West, but it's a little sweeter when you beat another Hawaiian school. And so to sweep them home and away, well, I was just ecstatic. And we got team of the week, second week in a row. Shout out women's golf for holding it down in Sonoma State. They had 2 people get onto their all tournament team. But for men's soccer, it's exciting, and just like it is for women's soccer, we got home stand to close of the season, and so. I mean, they're flying high right now, and I'm excited to see them take a couple games and climb up the standings with a couple weeks left to go in the season. And then also Leandro Weingartner. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right. Is that right?
Pretty close.
Pretty close. Okay, pretty close. But right now he's in a golden boot race. He's tied in first with 5 goals, I believe. And so, dude's a machine. Excited to see where he ends up. I feel like he can take it, but.
Do you guys do anything collaborative with the men's soccer team? Do you ever scrimmage or have team activities for bonding?
Not scrimmage.
No,
no, we don't scrimmage them. What happens is we travel a lot together.
Okay.
So when we're on the road, we're always in the same hotels, same practice fields, same fields. We always play back to back. So we're pretty close.
Strong sense of support between both programs.
I think it's nice. I think it's positive to have both teams supporting each other's and having each other's back a little bit.
Yeah, I also think we like to kind of go to their games because they play before us. So we like to kind of watch them, and some of them will sometimes stay after their game to watch us for a bit. And it's super nice. One of the fun things that we do with them is if the women's team is watching the men's game, the women's team will kind of chirp and like not trash talk, but try like just say some funny things to the other team, like, oh, your shoe's untied, and just like prank them to make the boys feel like we have their back. And they've sort of done it for us before, not as much as we do for them, just because again we're already there. But yeah, it's just a funny kind of seems like tradition we're forming is to just like help each other out and distracting the other team. Nice.
Well, we'll have to get the guys out there more to help you out. So I hope if any men's soccer players out there at HPU you just heard the challenge. Turn out in force and support the women. So what about basketball? Did you get a chance to talk with basketball?
Yeah, so got to hang out a lot with Coach Ray, the new women's coach.
New women's coach.
And Tim. Tim.
Yep, we have
legend.
New coaches. Yep.
It's part of the legendary team that upset Virginia, and so.
Yeah, I don't want to give out any more call-outs to Chaminade, but I did see that they've got this documentary coming out. What is it? The Greatest Game Never Seen, I think it's called, and it chronicles the 1982 victory that Chaminade had over a Ralph Sampson-led University of Virginia Cavaliers team.
Yeah, so got to hang out with them these past couple of weeks. Actually, we just did their media day yesterday, and so we went out to this park by the beach. I don't want to mispronounce the beach, but it was just beautiful court by Costco. That's all I know it is. But it's a team. A lot of turnover, coaches, a lot of new players. But really excited with the conference. Adding Westmont women's basketball. They historically successful program in NIA, and so it's really fun to add them to the program. And I think basketball conference, it's really interesting. I don't think there's necessarily like a top program because everyone just beats up on each other, and so I'm just excited to see how this for the women's side, how it plays out, because I feel like it's literally anyone's game. And so
well, I think it's the first Coach V, after leaving last year, it was 17 years I think he was with us. So it'll be a new era for men's basketball and women's.
Yeah, and men's basketball is exciting. It's always exciting when you have a 7'4" player on your team.
Yeah, that was kind of striking. I was watching practice the other day.
I mean, I saw him the other day, and I had to look up just to even say a word to him.
You have to be impressed with somebody that can dunk without jumping.
Yeah.
I mean,
and so so very, very excited for men's basketball. I think Jesse. I mean, he has not just Jesse, but his entire coaching staff. Like, just one of the most top notch you'll probably find in D2, let alone I think even in college basketball. And so. Just from their social medias to their outreach in the community, like I've just been beyond impressed with them. And then also with one of them, shout out cross country, they just had their senior day this past weekend. Huge shout out to Jenny Sampson for putting that on and stepping up and helping the seniors get the meet they deserve. And they'll be competing in 2 weeks in Fresno at the Pac-West Championship. So excited for them.
Nice. And you mentioned you had media day yesterday. Tell us a little bit about what that is and what happened and how it went.
Yeah. So media day, we went out to the beach. We went all out. So
what happens at media? What's the purpose of it for
media day? I feel like so from an athlete's perspective, I feel like it's just nice, like to feel like seen. And feel like just have that one day where it's the vibes and the atmosphere is just very laid back. You feel good, you look good, you're taking pictures, get to show everyone back home what you've been up to, all the hard work you put in, and just get excited for the season. I mean, some of my favorite moments as a college athlete, getting flicked up with my fellow teammates, and so.
Now, were all sports or just fall sports represented on media day?
And so it was just for women's basketball. So the goal is for each team to have their own. So I came a little late, and so I didn't get to do women's and men's soccer. So the goal would be like for the next coming years that like each team has their own media day. So that way they get the focus. They get the player interviews, the pictures, the videos. Like yesterday we got some drone footage, which is going to be insane to see, but.
All right, well, we're gonna have to put that on our social media.
Yeah,
so, all right, there you go, Jaiden. There's some content you can grab. Well, what's coming? What's next? So let's look ahead for HPU sports as you look into the next week.
Oh yeah, so big day today. So
was it 4 games today?
Yeah. So if you're into tennis, go up the road to UH and see our women's tennis team battle University of Hawaii. Soccer for men's, like. You probably should start driving right now to beat the traffic, honestly. get there at 4:30 for their game. And then you got the under the lights against Chaminade. I want to beat them so bad. Both teams, I want to beat them so bad. Oh my gosh! So going for that sweep, and then if you somehow don't want to drive up the road to St. Francis. Is that what the gym is?
Where the Shark Tank is?
Yeah. Oh, there's where's Chaminade? McCabe Gym.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, mixed that up. But
Nice.
McCabe Gym take on national ranked Chaminade, and so if whatever sport you're into, there's something going on tonight. So you better get out there.
Well, you heard it. You heard it first here. Tons of athletic activities today. 4 games with HPU Sports in action. Well, I want to thank all of our guests this morning. Women's soccer, Marcus Dawal Jr., HPU's new SID. I wish you the best of luck as you guys head into the season. We're going to be talking some more about social and all, and I hope to have you back, and maybe we can talk a little more later in the year.
Thank you for having us. It's been super fun, and we're excited for tonight and hope to see you guys all there.
Perfect, Jeff.
Well, I want to remind everybody that you can listen to us live at 9 o'clock on Thursday mornings, or listen to our recorded stream podcast on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network on the Sharks Weekly section. So please join us next week. Have a wonderful week. Aloha to everybody, and we'll talk to you then.